Hello, hello. Happy Friday, correct? So I'm filming today from the corner of my bathroom. I have some natural light in here, which is nice, and I'm right near a window, so I believe I have better service. I don't know, it just feels that way. So today we're going to talk about the leap year and how we can utilize it in our magical practices to allow us to really work on our long-term goals. So I want to make this video kind of short. So if you jump on in the middle, I am going to refrain from repeating myself. However, the replay will be posted, and then as well, this will be added to my YouTube channel. I always say that just because not everyone is in the group because they don't have Facebook, so I'd like to put that out there. So we have this extra day of the year that happens once every 4 years, okay? So in the vibration of tomorrow, we have this special opportunity to lay the groundwork for a long-term materialization of what we see our lives becoming, okay? So when you think about this, we always try to think about long-term goals and bringing about those long-term goals, and that kind of takes us away from the present moment, which is why tomorrow is such a great day to work on long-term goals, because tomorrow only happens once a year, so once every 4 years. So the frequency of tomorrow won't be around again for 4 years. So essentially, you can put this all out there and then kind of like forget about it, if that makes sense, because in a year from now, you're not going to be like, oh, I set that goal a year ago, because that day doesn't exist. It's a 4-year manifesting portal, 4-year magical portal. And that's how we're going to look at it. So something people say to do with long-term manifestation. Sorry, I'm so tired today. I totally needed a coffee since I don't work at the coffee shop anymore. I went by where George works, and they make an almond milk frappuccino to go, which is actually pretty well. I can't complain. It's like looking at all the bottles, and it all said, contains milk. And of course, I don't do dairy, so I was really, really happy to see this. Sidetracked. Okay, so anyways, we have this 4-year manifestation portal. So people say you hear a lot about like doing these 33 by 3, 55 by 5 type of manifesting journaling prompts, which are things that I totally used to do when I was just starting, when you're kind of looking for your path and your way of aligning your mindset and everything like that. I have definitely steered away from doing those sorts of things because I felt like I was faking it when I was writing those things down. And you hear me talk a lot about how it is kind of faking it if you don't have the experience to back it up, or the things happening to back it up, because you can't really visualize what that's going to be and how that's going to come about. So I want us to kind of avoid that when we're doing our magical stuff. However, if you feel so called to do something like that, like, more power to you. What works for me may be totally different than what works for you. Just in my standpoint, I don't really like lying to myself, so to speak, like tricking myself, because I feel like I'm doing wrong by my subconscious. So what I recommend you do today, instead of writing down like, I have reached financial freedom, or I am this, I am that, how about we start putting down things that we can do daily in our present day lives to get to where we want to be in 4 years. So we're going to focus on, instead of the big goal, we're going to be focusing on the little things that we can add into our day-to-day lives over 4 years that aren't going to seem overwhelming, that are just going to infuse and end up flowing and go from there. Because once you add those things in, you become in this habit, this habit of flow. They seem normal to you. It's not like you're not presently doing them. So for this 4-year manifestation portal, we are totally just going to focus on what we can do day to day and really infuse into our lives. So tomorrow we have this special day. And I put out earlier the positive habit creator sheet template. And I have one of these written for myself. However, I do like using this. I use this like once a week or, once a month type of deal. So let's focus on we'll fill those lines in that template, okay, with things that you can start adding in your day-to-day life to bring about those 4-year manifestations that we're looking at. So on the next leap year, you've accompanied so many different habits into your being that manifestation just comes about because you are doing the work, doing the action for this 4-year portal. Okay, so anyone who just hopped on, I am going to try to stay on track so I can keep this video a little bit shorter, but the replay will be posted. We are talking about this 4-year manifestation portal with the leap year and how important it is for us to not focus on the end goal, but focus on what we can add into our lives day to day to bring about that goal without it festering in our minds and us overthinking it, okay? So like I just said, I put in the group today a positive habit creator template. This is something that I use every month. So on this little template, what you can do is you're going to first think about, that big goal. You're going to think about that big goal one time. That's it, okay? And I would make it, this is just me saying it, I don't like to make my manifestations about money because then you kind of pop into the ego aspect of things as opposed to staying on a broadening soul awareness aspect. So your big goal is what you're going to do. And you're going to think about it. You're not even going to write it down. You're just going to think about what that would be, okay? And then in that positive habit creator, what you are going to do is you are going to put down the habits that you can start adding into your day-to-day life that in 4 years from now will bring you that big goal and big idea without you having to think about it, without you having to be like, oh, a year ago I was like, I'm going to do this and I haven't done it yet, because it's not about faking it till you get there. It's about creating the flow and vibration that will carry what you desire to you. Okay, and you hear me talk about that a lot, okay? That it's the emotion attached, the experience attached that allows you to resonate at the frequency of what you're trying to attract, okay? So let me give you an example. In 4 years, I want to be able, because I'm childless still, okay? So in 4 years, I want to be able to provide just an exciting family life for everybody that I love, okay? Whether it's just still me and George, whether it's me and kids, whatever, family life, whatever it ends up being, I want to be in a position where I can provide an exciting just existence for my family. So that would be my big goal. And what can I start doing in my day-to-day life to bring about the frequencies, like to be able to experience the frequencies that I need to do to get there? Okay, so let's think. I need to be grateful for everything that I have right in front of me. And that's something I already do, but it's always so great to remind yourself to be grateful for what's actually here instead of trying to fake yourself into being grateful for things you don't have yet. Okay, because you can write, I am financially free 700 times, but if you don't believe it, it's not doing anything. Okay, and the only way to believe something like that is to start to have experience in knocking down your debt or being resourceful enough to have money come to you, all those types of things, because then that brings you in the vibration of bringing money in, allowing yourself, to grow abundantly, financially, all of that, and then you can have that debt go away because you have the experience that it's able to, okay? So as I say, okay, so being grateful, that would be one of my things. What would another thing be? Being spontaneous and grabbing hold of opportunity or what I'm feeling in the moment. I am someone that, I can be spontaneous, but God, I fucking love a plan, like I do. Like I like to wake up in the morning and I like to know what I'm doing in some aspect when it comes to major things. I don't really like that spur of the moment. Like, sometimes George will be like, do you want to go snowboarding today? And it'll be like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'll have to like be up for an hour before I can make a decision because I didn't go to bed thinking how I want it, thinking that I was going to be going snowboarding the next day, okay? So I'm a plan girl, but that's something shit. Sorry. Like I said, I'm doing this in my bathroom today because I actually have some regular light in here. So I've got my like phone perched on one of my Reiki bottles, so it's all just like, okay, so yeah, adding spontaneity into my life, just doing things, without needing a plan. That's something. Because how am I going to provide an exciting family life or have those opportunities come to me if I'm not out there doing things spontaneously, because you never know where the universe is going to lead you. So listening to my intuition and being spontaneous would be another one. I would also say evolving my respect for my finances would be one thing. And that's something that I'm currently working with every day. However, it needs a lot of attention still for me, because I was someone that was very carefree with my finances. When I was waiting tables and bartending, money was no thing, okay? It was just disposable, and I didn't treat money right. So after I lost literally everything, was homeless and stuff over the summer, I got to this point where I was like, I really respect money for what it is. When it comes into my life, I'm excited about it. Can you guys hear me? Because my phone thing is like on the who's it, what's it. If you can't hear me, just let me know, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself, which is fine. I do that all the time. But anyways, so yeah, evolving my relationship with money. Would me buying this change my life at all? If not, I don't need it. Can I go out and I'm not saying not spend money on things, that make me happy and stuff, but I mean, if I'm going to go spend money on something, it's going to be like thanks babe, thank you for letting me know, whole food for like a really, really good meal, like my nutrition, my health, things like going to see music or buying houseplants, things like that are good for my soul is what I am evolving my relationship with my finances to only spend money on. Because if I'm buying something out of ego instead of buying something from my soul, like what is that? You know what I mean? What am I really doing? Okay. So that's another key thing I would put on there. Let's see, what else? Oh, another thing would be putting my wellness first, okay? And that includes mental state and physical state. Before last year, when I started thriving, I was only focused on my spiritual, mental sense for basically my whole life. I didn't even own a pair of sneakers, okay? And I've noticed since I started thriving, I want to feel good. Like, I went from somebody who was just like focused on the spiritual side. I thought that's all you needed. To being someone who is hiking 20 miles a week, because when your mind has a place to feel good inside, like, your body's your soul's home. And I've really realized that soul body alignment aspect is so important to my state of being. My husband thrives with me. My husband's state of being, we're excited to wake up every day and do things and adventure. Like, we walk a couple miles a day, over a mile to the grocery store every day when we go, it's those things. So health and nutrition, soul body alignment in general would be another thing on there. You can't have a high frequency spiritual mindset with a low frequency body. And those are things that are super important to me. So those would be my 3 or 4, whatever it was, positive habit creators that over the next 4 years, I'm going to be sure to implement into every single aspect of my life. Because that's going to get me to that 4-year goal of having an exciting experience for my family every single day. And when you incorporate all those things, you're only bringing more of those things into your life. And those are the foundations of where my experience will grow from. So I urge you all to take that template and do this activity and really get that 4-year goal out into the universe and then out of your mind. And then don't think about it. It will not be February 29th again for 4 years. So, next year when you don't have to be like, oh, it's been 6 months since I did my thing. No, because February 29th's frequency and vibration and placement won't be here for another 4 years. So you can literally put it out there and not think about it again for 4 years. But on a subconscious level, by adding all of these positive habit creators into your life that are going to get you to that 4-year goal, you're still drawing it into your life because you're adding the foundations to get there into your everyday existence. So you're experiencing them. Okay, for me, I wake up grateful every day. I'm healthy. My soul is happy because it's got a healthy home to live in. My husband's healthy. I'm becoming more spontaneous, which means opportunities are just out there for me to grab. All those things feed into what I'm looking for. And that's why tomorrow is going to be such a great, great experience for you. If you have a keepsake box, what I recommend doing is taking that big goal, if you do write it down, and just putting it away somewhere with something special. Like, even if you have, like, I have some, this is going to sound so funny, I save my really important fortune cookie thingies with me. So I have some from like 7, 8 years ago still. So whenever I find, and I've kind of like memorized them because I take them all out and read them sometimes. So what I'm probably going to do for my big goal is I'm going to find one of those fortune cookie thingies and put that with that and then stuff it in my important documents box. Just like put it in there, not stuff it, put it in there nicely because I respect that goal. And just put it away, out of sight, out of mind. And still be adding those things in. So consciously and subconsciously, you know that goal is still there, but you're not overthinking about it because you have 4 years. And because you know you're doing things to get you there without adding the stress of all of that on there, okay? One more thing that I think will be incredibly beneficial to you is if you have a Facebook or anything like that, go back 4 years to the last leap year in your memories and see what you were doing 4 years ago. See where you are now and look at the changes that it took to get there, okay? It's because you'll be able to see your memories from every year. So you can look at your evolution and maybe use that as, okay, to get where I am right now, I started adding in all these things. If I continue to do those types of things, where will I be at this time? Or maybe you had a downfall in the last 4 years. So maybe you want to do the opposite and add the opposite into your life of what you've done. But still, even if you've had a downfall, it's good to really look at that downfall and then look at where you fucked up, you know? Because it's not really fucking up if you learn a lesson from it. Take this from the girl who's been, like, arrested multiple times, was addicted to drugs, all of that fucking nonsense, and see where I am today. I've been sober for 2 fucking years now. I've been arrested in 5 years. Like, I live a really authentic, like, healthy lifestyle now. And, like, if I can do it, you can fucking do it. And when I look back 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, I was getting off probation. You know what I mean? Look at where I am now. And even though I relapsed in that 4-year time, I still learned so much. You know, I still grew so much from that relapse. Because if I didn't relapse that final time, I probably would still be doing drugs because I wouldn't have learned those lessons and everything. So there's a lot to be learned from the 4 years you experienced from the last leap year and what you're going to experience in the 4 years now. But the biggest part about this and about bringing your magic to life is not stressing it. You need to take away the resistance, and that's why this 4-year portal is so amazing, because you can implement things without stressing about the final goal, because you have 4 years to do it. And in case you were wondering, if anyone's been feeling really tired, semi-nauseous, kind of dissociated lately, I was told about this by someone in this group, but then I also looked this up, and what the weird thing is without actually like knowing this was physically going to happen, there's going to be evidence of it. I, in one of my intuitive channels back before 2020, was saying how all of this was going to happen. And I don't know if any of you guys remember, I was talking about the frequency of the planet actually shifting, and everyone's going to get pushed through, and some of us are going to evolve with it and really ascend, and some of us are kind of going to be pulled where we are, dealing with what we have to do to get there. So I was talking about that. So when Jen told me this, I was like, oh wow, like it's one of those moments where you really revel kind of in your intuitive power and your own intuitive channeling, like when you just know something's going to occur and then it does. Anyways, so the planet normally vibrates at 7 hertz, okay, as a planetary frequency. Over the last couple days, it has jumped all the way up to 178 hertz. That is how high of a shift in frequency the whole planet has gone through, okay? So now the planet goes through that shift in frequency. What does that do to every single individual? For me personally, I can tell you I've had a whirlwind of a week just when it's come to like my physical nature. I have been like fucking exhausted, okay? I've been sleeping in till about 7:30 and in the morning, and that is really weird for me. I normally get up about 4:30, 5 o'clock. But for the last week, and I didn't even know this was really occurring until like yesterday, I think, or the day before. So anyways, yeah, sleeping, tired. I've been napping constantly. Nausea, I've been feeling that like crazy. And then just kind of a dissociated nature. So more so like your body feels one way, your mind feels another. Reasoning for that is the planet goes through this big frequency shift. On a cellular level, your body needs to go through that shift as well, okay? And we have this whole thing called the dual prism effect that's going on, which I talked about, I don't know, in another video within the last 2 weeks. I've been putting out so many videos lately compared to what I was before. that I get a little confused about when I actually put it out there. But the dual prism effect, what that is, if you're already vibrating at a certain frequency, you are going to be, I totally get that, feeling tired and distracted and exhausted by 8 o'clock every night. I pass out, and then, like, I wake up at 10 when George gets home, and then I, like, make dinner and stuff like that. I, like, cannot stay up past 8. It's actually, like, really, really funny, because normally, you know, I would be up and I'm drinking a coffee. Okay, with my Thrive, I don't drink caffeine, and this week I have, like, needed caffeine, and it's, like, one of those things that I can't even believe, because I did my patch today, I did my capsules, and I did my pre-workout stuff. And normally, like, I'm good for 12 hours when I do that, but I have needed my caffeine all week. So I totally get that too, with that mental clarity, and that being distracted is that dissociation. I totally forgot what I was saying. Dissociation. Okay, so the dual prism effect. Okay. So what happens with that is, if you're already vibrating at a certain frequency, then what happens is you are taken this way. Like, you know how a prism works and you see the light come through everything? So that light comes through you and elevates you, and you ascend with the planetary shift, okay? And if you're caught on the other side of it, you're kind of being held where you are and staying in your low frequency, because you're feeling fear, anxiety, distrust, all of this from the changing frequency, because you're not there yet. Imagine when you were in a place of, like, spiritual, you know, before you started your journey, how everything was negative, and, you know, how there's always an issue, and this, that, and the other thing. And then all that intense energy would hit you. That would spiral you out and keep you in that low frequency. So you have two groups of people that are splitting apart. Now, if you're on this ascension group of people, which, Katie, you seem to definitely be there, especially, I mean, I know through talking to you, but I mean, from even what you just said right there, your mind is already vibrating at a higher frequency, because you've been with the celestial planet and the individual shifts and everything since 2020, rising, embracing, doing all these things, really moving into that frequency. Now the planet goes through a shift, which is the physical side of the realms, okay? So the planet goes through this shift. All of your cells need to regenerate at the higher frequency. And you know how much that takes out of you, and how much happens in your gut in general. So that nausea feeling and everything is because all of those cells, your gut is like another brain, like another computer. So you have to think about that computer is kind of going through an update, like your phone would go through. So your whole physical body is going through an update, okay? So your cells are completely recrystallizing, completely realigning, starting to vibrate at a different frequency, and that makes us tired. That can make us a little bit anxious, because we have all this energy moving around that we're not used to. Nauseous, because you have so much going on in your gut. So there are all these dissociative, because your brain is in one frequency and your body hasn't caught up yet, okay? So that's that sense that's happening. So that's where that all comes from, and that's something that's really interesting that's going on in the world right now. And you should definitely look that up. There's a lot of really great information on that. I also want to urge you, I know everybody is freaking out about this virus that's going on. Things have power when you give them power, okay? And in California, it's already here. You know, it's been here. I live in a tourist town. There's tons of people, once it starts getting nice, out in and out of here consistently. And honestly, I'm hiding all the posts that people are posting about this virus and stuff like that, because I'm not going to pay it any attention, any mind, because I know personally I'm vibrating at a certain frequency that I can heal, that I'm not really as susceptible to getting illnesses, and I also know that the frequency that surrounds me protects me. So I'm never here to give you any sort of medical advice, but from a spiritual universal energy sense, don't let that consume you, okay? Because honestly, if it comes down to it, if the universe plans on you getting it, you're gonna get it. So there is no need to worry about something that you cannot control, okay? Also, using a ton of fucking hand sanitizer kills your natural fighters on your hands. So please be wary of that. Be wary of the medicines you're taking. Be wary of what you're putting into your bodies. I'll tell you, I have just been, doing my regular elderberry, and what is that other supplement that starts with the ASH, something like that. I've been constantly number 2ing too. I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but I have been pooping weird poops. So I totally 100% feel you there. It's been actually kind of freaky because, like, I'm a pretty regular pooper and, like, a normal pooper, and don't really have, a, pretty scheduled pooper, after I take about an hour after I take my Thrive or after I do my yoga. But no, for the last week, they've been, like, weird poops and, like, yeah. And not clean poops, just, like, they don't even seem like they're working together, which, when you think about it, your cells are transforming and everything like that, so your body's in this weird fluctuation period, and we're probably just not processing correctly. Because my diet's been exactly the same. I've been just as healthy as I've always been, and I've been, like, literally. So I feel you there, and just think about it in that sense of time. Also, take this time seriously with this higher vibrational frequency. One thing that I heard from someone in this group that I found very, very interesting, now I've made this video long anyways, but whatever, is that the coronavirus that I was just speaking to you about was released and put into the world because of this planetary ascension that's happening. Planets ascending, it allows certain people to ascend. How do you keep people from ascending? You put them in a state of fear and compliance. What does a mass breakout of a disease do? Put you in a state of fear and compliance. Yes, all of a sudden super runny. That's exactly how I've been. And that's what it does. Put you in a state of fear and compliance. So you're listening to what the government has to say. You're listening to what all these doctors have to say with no real facts behind it. And I'm not saying there's not real facts or anything like that. And this is not fact in general. I'm just saying this is my own, I guess we can call it a conspiracy. But I just heard this, and it was something that really stuck with me because it makes so much sense. Especially, governments don't want you to go through an ascension when we have all of this stuff going on when it comes to our food, the water, our governments, and this split we're having between, upper and lower classes, races, or the president we have now, the presidents we could have. When we have this social disorder, the last thing that governments want is for their people to ascend. Because when your people ascend, you're fucked. Because they see right through the bullshit. So that's just a thought that I wanted to throw out there because it was very interesting, and I heard it from someone in this group, and it stuck with me. So I just wanted to put that out there because who knows, it may lie with you somewhere as well. But thanks for hanging out. Sorry I made the video. Actually, no, I'm not sorry I made the video a little long because I really do enjoy, the chats and the talks. And this is something a little different. I'm not reading cards or anything like that. I'm kind of just relaxing and, like, wanted to speak to you on a different level. I'm sorry if I keep looking at my hair. It is, like, fucking top notch today. You gotta give yourself that little stroke sometimes, But I love all of you. Today is the 1-year anniversary of my spiritual manual experience that I've been running with clients for a whole entire year, helping shift the collective. Yes, so exciting. The spiritual manual has been just my baby. It has been my gift. It has been just an absolutely fantastic experience. And I've literally had this clients, soul family, loves for the whole entire year that have just repeatedly been coming to me to help to get a spiritual manual throughout the time being. And it just feels really great to have this going on. Thanks, babe. To have this going on and know that this is a tool that's consistently been helping people over the past year, and to still be having it, still be doing it, and to still be in love with putting it out there for you. So happy day. I'll stop by tomorrow for the leap year because why not? Maybe we'll do like a little ceremony together. Maybe we'll do something like that. Tomorrow I am going to do some a la carte readings, just some quick reads and stuff like that. Because, hey, why not? So if anyone's interested in that, just let me know. Like I said, there's no appointment needed. It's kind of just, I'm going to be hanging out and been feeling super powerful lately and just really enjoying shifting a bunch of things that are going on in the collective. So just reach out, hit me up. I'm very informal. So, yeah. All right. Love to you all. Anything you need, I'm always here. Oh my God. Real quick. I just held that ceremony for my Reiki vessels, the charging jars and magic boxes and stuff that I made. And I called upon Hecate and Aphrodite during this ceremony. Had the $100 bill there and everything. The cinnamon for abundance. And I called upon them to enhance my power and to enhance my craft and to infuse their energy into these Reiki pieces that are going to be going to their new homes. There are still some available. Not all of them, though. and to amplify the abundance in the recipient's life. Okay. 20 minutes later, knock, 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 on my door, and the final paycheck my employer owes me is being dropped off. However, there's no money in his account to cover it. Still, I have the check. So this person is completely out of my life until I have to do my like labor claims and suits and stuff. But how great is that? 20 minutes after invoking those goddesses and doing this ceremony blessing spell, boom, okay? And it was just an unbelievable feeling. And I had some other random money come up too that was just really great. So these pieces are incredibly powerful, and I'm so excited to get them to you. If you order this weekend, it ensures your delivery by the full moon, so you can use them for your full moon practices. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Love you guys.